your plans either link into a vision for the Compton Creek watershed, if that's an appropriate link to make, or plans for the city of Compton and for surrounding communities.
I think for us, it's we have the unique experience that we have a single mission and purpose is to build open space. So for us, we look at it like what do we need to do, and we have a larger vision in terms of how the whole watershed, looking at it from a upper LA River watershed and lower watershed issues. So as Ron talked about, there's a lot of so our holistic approach is how do we look at it as an entire watershed? So it's part of a larger watershed plan. But as in terms for here for the city of Compton is. Dan talked about like there's multiple jurisdictions, but it's also a unique opportunity because we have multiple jurisdictions that bring in different resources. And also another issue that I look at it is the different interests, as you spoke to, Derek, is it's also an opportunity to how do we leverage the resources to provide what everybody wants. Because the way we look at it is how do you provide a recreational trail? How do you provide more open space? How do you, within that open space, how do you provide, how do you deal with the water? Then how do you provide an additional amenity for the people that go shopping that once they buy their food, they can actually go and picnic in this open space? So I think we have to look at how we leverage these resources and create, and we're at a tipping point right now in the Compton Creek that part, as a park agency, we're always trying to get everybody to pay attention to why it's important to build parks. And here we have everyone at the different levels of government and the public agencies as our friends at RMC, our friends at Coastal Conservancy at the state level, and our friends here at the county that if it wasn't for them providing the direction and the resources to actually try to implement a plan, we're in a really unique opportunity to, and then all our stakeholders who believe in it, I think what we're looking at is how we look at these issues and look at them not as issues but opportunities. So for us it's how do we create a common vision that supports everybody's interests and that everybody has a say at the table, including our residents who are going to be the ultimate end users of these what we're trying to create here. So I think for us is looking at what are the possibilities. Let's not start from scratch. There's actual tangible case studies of what works, and so for us minimum is we'd look, okay, we could provide bike trails. Can we look at expanding these bike trails and greenways? Or can we look at a bigger picture and see how we can provide something that extend the walls if it's feasible? And once we find out if it's feasible, then it's going to the federal government and looking at stimulus money on the next round. And what that means is not just having a concept plan, is actually having the studies done. We have to have construction documents. We can't just have a plan in place, but we have to actually sit down and talk about it and leverage everyone's resources. So when that time does come, we have a packet ready to actually implement what we want. So I think for us these pictures is this doable? Why can't we dream big for what we want here in the Compton Creek? So yes, for us we see it as part of we want to be integrated into the plan. We want to be utilized to help direct and guide and actually do some of the work. We want to actually be on the ground during the work. I said, so for us, we currently have an MOU with the city of Compton to work on a couple of these projects that if either they own or we purchase the land, that eventually they would work with us in partnership to help maintain and operate. We're working with Compton Unified. We looked at how the unique opportunity of there's so many schools budding into the Compton Creek, how can we create that opportunity? So we also have an existing MOU with the Compton Unified to look at those projects, but most importantly, we also have partnership with, we couldn't do all this planning and these capital improvements without the county and with Proposition A, which actually is to provide more open space and recreation. So that's another plan that we're part of. But I think the most important message I wanted to get across is that we have to come together to work and leverage our resources, and not only for the existing funding that is here, but there is, and it's really important, there is a water bond, and there is going to be a special session in Sacramento in the next month. So we need to be able to not only present you look at Orange County in the last water bond got billions of dollars because all the city, the county, and the state and the federal representatives all went with one unified plan, not separating their plans. It was one common plan, and I think we have a unique opportunity that we need to go to Sacramento. And I was asked, is there anything that you think is significant? And I included Compton Creek, so this is the first. I have never met Ron Gaslam, so I guess the message is in Sacramento that Compton Creek does exist and does have a plan and wants to work together on this. So I think this is a great opportunity. I think the afternoon session is really not to just talk about what it is we want, but how we're going to do it together and how we're going to roll up our sleeves. So I'm here to say that we're excited about the opportunity.